Everyone, welcome back. We are trucking through these patch notes. This is part 3 now. And part 3 consists of more heroes. Last time, I think we got ourselves all the way out to the last one. I think we finished the Seas. Crystal Maiden? Who's the last sea hero? Yeah, Crystal Maiden. So we are now on Dark Sear. But before we get into that, I did manage to get in a couple games yesterday and a bit today as well. Managed to get one game of the new hero, Hoodwinked. Love it. Love the new hero. Doesn't feel too overpowered. I mean, her first Q skill does seem to scale up pretty quickly in terms of damage and really easy to farm with that hero. And she's got quite good escape too. Her ultimate, very strong. Bit of a trick shot to do, but overall, I think it's an awesome hero. I think it's a really cool hero idea. I've seen some people review that a hero doesn't really add much to the game, like there isn't too much new about the hero, but I disagree. I think I like the combination of skills that they put on this hero. The kind of mix of like tree and quick sort of evasion, but then also being this sort of like just a very evasive ranged hero that's adding not only damage but utility to the team fight. And a lot of fun to play. Same way in like Windrunner is fun, but like times that by 3, I would say. And yeah, I got in a few other games. I had a Lycan game and a can't quite remember, but fun. Loving the Agnes Shards. I think they do add definitely a cool element. And particularly like I like the price of it. Like the 1400 gold means that even supports can justifiably get it. I mean, I think it's going to confuse the game a little bit to create kind of more diversity in builds, which ultimately I think makes for a better game. But it might make for some like tricky understanding of what the meta comes out as, and well, we'll just have to really wait and see for that. So, getting right into it, Dark Sear, Ion Shell radius increase from 250 to 275, so a slight increase in that. Level 15 talent change from Ion Shell provides 350 max health to 6 armor. Level 20 talent change from 8 armor to 1 second wall, a replica slow. Ooh, that's quite big actually. That slow within the wall is quite nasty. And to add an extra second of it, yeah, I think that's considerable. So the Scepter rework causes Ion Shell to have 2 charges, increases duration by 20, and provides 350 health. That's really cool. I mean, I know there was a talent that added health or healed health with the Ion Shell. So they're kind of keeping that with the Scepter rework. Then having Ion Shell 2 charges, because the damage on the Ion Shells does stack, so being able to get 2 of those out right away, potentially 3, by the time one of them dissipates, like, you can get quite a bit of DPS downrange with just that. So Agnes Shard ability, normal punch. I'm just like watching it on the screen here. That's actually a cool little demo. Okay, so normal punch grants what does this call it? Normal punch. We'll just call it punch then. Like the normal sounds just redundant. Like what they couldn't think of a better name than normal punch, like illusionary punch or I don't know. Jab would have been a little more colorful. No, normal punch. Okay. Grants normal punch passive cooldown attacks. Okay, so causes your next attack on a hero to knock an illusion out on them and then stun them for 2 seconds. Okay, knockback for 350 distance and deals 250 base damage on on how far you have moved in the past 3 seconds. Okay, so you want to group this with Surge to get the maximum amount of damage out of that. I mean, maybe like 250. If I'm doing 150 damage, and the difference between that and 250 damage doesn't seem that significant. It's not like Mirana's arrow, which like is like a 0.3 second stun to like a 5-second stun. That's something makes a little more sense to min-max. This doesn't seem like it's super important to min-max. I wonder what the cooldown is on that. Let me just take a look. Like every 6 seconds? Let's see. So get ourselves a shard. 14 seconds. A cooldown of 14 seconds. Oh, I guess it says it right there in the thing. Just needed to read all the way till the end and I would have known that. Okay, 14 seconds. Cool. I like it. Makes them good for stopping TPs if somebody's running away. Punch can stop a TP. And then just a 2-second stun every 14 seconds. Like that creates a pretty good utility for 1400 gold on this hero. I think Darkseer suffered a little bit in the way Bristleback does, where they provide utility to a team fight, but they lack the crowd control that most position 3s would normally have, or position 4s. So having this as normal punch on Darkseer, I think adds quite a bit to it. Quite a bit to this hero. Okay, Dark Willow. So base intelligence increased by 3. First crown cast range increased from 600 to 600, scaling up to 675. Okay. Bramble Maze cast range increased from 1200 to 1100, 1200, 1300, 1400. So slightly less cast range at the first level, and then it scales up. Now the cast range is quite huge on it already, so the fact that you're getting an extra 200 cast range on it at 4th level, that's quite a buff actually to that skill. She makes her, she was a great hero to catch enemy heroes before, and that just makes her that much better at it. Terrorize cast range reduced from 1500 to 1300. Okay. Oh, so that's a lot less. Oh, okay. Well, not a lot less. By 200 as well. So, Bramble Maze goes out a little farther. Terrorize does not. I wonder if we'll notice that. There's definitely some, like, long-range terrorizes that I do, like, just to save a teammate, because even if she's half a screen away or 2 screen and a half away, she can still kind of help teammates escape from ganks. So, nerfing that a little bit on her. Level 10 talent increase from 0.4 seconds curse ground stun duration to 0.6. I never really got that one. It just, stun duration's good. But 0.4 just didn't seem like it was much, so I can understand why they're increasing that slightly. Level 10 talent changed from plus 100 cast range to minus 2 seconds Shadow Realm cooldown. Okay, so they're swapping it here. Because it used to be on level 15. Now they're going to buff her cast range slightly. So in level 15, she's going to be able to have 125 cast range. Okay. Okay. Cast range is great on her, right? So she's quite squishy, so you do want to work your way into fights with this hero to get some damage out with her ulti, but other than that, like, most of your spells you can just kind of cast from the sidelines, so cast range is good on her. Level 20 talent reduced from minus 10 second Bramble Maze to 8 seconds. Okay. Level 25 talent increased from 1.3 second terrorize duration to 1.5. Okay, so they're just improving that a little bit. Also, something that felt a bit underwhelming, and I think I always went with the other level 25 that she's got. So her Agnes Shard ability, Cursed Crown, now creates 4 brambles around the target after the counter ends, regardless how it ends. Okay, so I guess that means if it's removed, like if someone has that on them and they Yules themselves, the bramble maces will still appear, regardless. Which cool. I mean, I think they can still walk out diagonally quite easily, but it definitely does um, create a good threatening space, and that's just extra crowd control you've got on the ground there in a team fight once that goes off. So yeah, I think it's good. I think it's worth it. Um, that's the tricky thing. I think it's going to be about this is that like, I don't think Agnes Shard's abilities are going to be universally the case that you always want to get it at the 20-minute mark. Um, and I think that adds maybe a little more challenge to the game now that like making that decision on either getting Agnes Shard or not can have a quite significant impact on the game, right? So knowing how to make the right choice. Make our game harder, that's right. Oh, because Dota's not hard enough. Dazzle. Shallow Grave duration rescaled from 5 to 4, scaling up to 5.5. Okay, so slightly shorter at the start of the game. Keeping in mind, standard TP is 3 seconds, so this kind of reduces that window slightly in the early stages, but a hero, if they're just quick enough, they see that they get shallow grade, they can just be right away. Shallow Grave cooldown reduced quite significantly, so from 60, 46, 32, 18 down to 42, 34, 26, 18. So it's quite, you can use it more frequently at the start of the game. For those 60 seconds, I didn't realize it was that long. Hmm. Shallow Grave cast range increased also, so good buffs to Shallow Grave. Hmm. So the cast range again, it's about buffing it early game. So it's going from 550 to 700, and then 700 to 800 at level 2, 850 up to 900, and then a straight 1,000 for the fourth level. So okay, I mean I think they're not huge buffs to the skill, but noticeable. I think. I personally like getting Shallow Grave before level 6 on this hero, depending on how heated or how heavy the offlane is playing. Yeah, it's nice, good early skill to have because you can really get your core out of some sticky situations or yourself. So we're at, hold on, there's a Scepter rework. So, oh no, sorry, I'm skipping over here. So level 25 talent changed from 30 Shadow Wave heal damage to 35 attack speed. Okay. I'm just gonna check. What is the other talent at level 15 for Dazzle? Cast range. 150 cast range. Okay. So I see what they're doing. They want to give the option to make this a hero, a little more of a core hero. So level 10, you're choosing between 175 mana regen or 50 damage. Level 15, you're choosing the additional attack speed or the cast range. I mean, obviously which ones you want to go. For the Scepter rework, causes Shadow Wave to dispel allies. Oh. Increase heal by 60 and increase damage by 80. Huh. Okay, so at level 4, Shadow Wave does 140. So when we think about that proportionally, that's quite a jump in damage and healing that you're getting out of that. Plus the dispel that you get every, where's the cooldown? Every 8 seconds on your whole team, potentially. That's actually really good. That's actually really strong now that I think about it. Like, like you're dispelling stuns, I imagine, is the big one. You see that a bunch of your teammates up front got hit with a Magnus ulti. Once um, one shadow wave from Dazzle can just make the complete difference in that fight, right? So cool. I mean, it's quite a luxury item to have a scepter on Dazzle, I think. Typically played as a 5 or a 4. Um, but hey, I mean, they seem to be pushing towards more of a core Dazzle. So why not throw him in the mid lane? You know, why not build some right-click damage on him, but then give him a scepter so that your team has an 8-second dispel. Um, yeah, yeah, interesting. And that's something you don't like. That's something you don't really. We haven't seen up until this point where your 2 typically is like they need to deal damage and they need to tank, or they need to deal damage and they need to initiate. Or like so the 2, yes, they always kind of they need to bring a lot of damage to to the the game and to team fights, but um, having a healer as your utility for your position too, why not? You know, sustain goes a long way. And it's right in its own definition, right? So that's interesting. Interesting thought. Dazzle Mid. Dazzle Mid. So his Agnes Shard ability launches an attack at 3 closest enemies within 2,500. Sorry, not 20. Oh my god, 1,200 range, which is quite far actually. That's almost like a full screen length, if I'm not wrong. As it prioritizes heroes each time you cast an ability. See, like Dazzle Mid, Dazzle position 2. I am calling it. Okay, so next up we've got Death Prophet. Base movement speed increased from 310 to 335. Okay, I think she needed that. I think she felt a bit slow in the early game for sure. Spirit Siphon no longer drains movement speed. Right. Spirit Siphon charges replenish time from 45, 40, 35, 30 down to 36, 34, 32, 30. So a bit of a buff for Spirit Siphon cooldown times early game. Exorcism Ghost speed increased from 500 to 525. Cool. Okay, so that, I mean that buffs it in a lot of ways. Makes it so there's more damage going out because the damage of that skill is essentially based how quickly the spirits travel from you to the target and then back. So if anything that shortens that amount of time raises the DPS for that skill. Turn rate improved from 0.5 to 0.8. Turn rate. I don't know, did she feel a bit stiff turning? We'll see if I actually notice that. Level 25 talent changed from Exorcism grants haste to minus 4 second Spirit Siphon replenish time. Minus 20 seconds. Minus 20 seconds. So that would be 10 seconds. You would get a new Spirit Siphon charge every 10 seconds. I mean, good. I mean, when you latch onto 4 people at once, and they don't stack, I believe, right? Like, it's better to have it on multiple targets, because if you just put all 4 on the same target, I don't think that actually stacks up her regen or damage. Yeah, I mean, you can get a lot of heal out of that. Exorcism haste. Did they take it out because it was too broken, honestly? I mean, that would be the talent that I usually go for. I haven't played a whole lot of Death Prophet lately. But that was, I think, the one that I would usually go for. was the haste. Because having 8 extra exorcism spirits, they take such a long time to get out of Death Prophet. Having an extra 8 come out, well, anyway, I think they took it out because maybe it was a bit overpowered. I mean, now she just has a talent at level 25 just to make her that much more tanky, so I feel like she kind of needed that buff. Death Prophet just hasn't lately seemed like the strong hero she used to be. And I'm not sure if that's directly from nerfs or just how the game tempo has changed. Yeah. Agnes Shard ability. So Spirit Siphon now drains 0.75 armor per second and gives it to you. Ooh. Armor gain loss lasts for 14 seconds, starting from the cast time. Cool. That's really cool, actually. So that meshes well with your level 25 talent. That's an interesting thing about the Agnoms is like both the Agnom Scepter and now the Agnom Shards is that you really have to be deliberate about if I'm going Agnoms, then I'm going certain talents because just some talents will work with what these new abilities are or these new buffs are doing. So you have to be really mindful about that when choosing your build. Disruptor, level 10 talent increased from 2-second kinetic field cooldown to -3 seconds. Okay. Not a big change, I don't think. Maybe there's some crazy nuance to that I'm not fully aware of, but it doesn't seem like it's that big of a change. Grabbing some water. Throat's getting dry. Okay, 22 minutes in. So let's see. Agnem's Shard ability for Disruptor. Thunderstrike. Allows Thunderstrike to be cast on allies, follows the ally, and deals damage around them. Each strike gives a short 1-second buff that provides 50% movement speed and 175 attack speed. Strike interval is every 2 seconds. Increases radius by 160 when used on allies. Cool. That's really cool, actually. It's a cool little buff. Like, it's almost like a mini. I want to say a mini. What's that item? Build it from a medallion of courage into a. I can't remember it. You know, your buff. You want to buff your cores, and giving this little burst of speed and attack speed. Pretty cool. Let's see how effective this actually looks. Feels like they're getting zapped and like, ow, ow. So very cool. And I know there's the talent for Disruptor where you can have, where the ball actually ends up, I think, shooting off three more extra charges like that. So again, there are certain talents that are going to be lining up with these shards. So Doom gets a Scepter rework, which causes Doom to apply break and reduces cooldown from 145 to 100. Nice. I felt like it did need a shorter cooldown. It's a great ulti to have, but that always kind of felt a bit long before you get it up. It's sort of like Rupture. Like Rupture is short cooldown, and has kind of the same effect where it really just knocks out a hero. So I think having Doom kind of be on par with that, I think, is a necessary buff because Doom seemed kind of underwhelming in the recent patch. I just kind of forgot about Doom, honestly. Like, I haven't seen him played much at all lately. Level 10 talent increased from 2-second Doom duration to 3 seconds. Okay. Sure. So his Agnes Shard ability and Infernal Blade stun duration is increased from 0.6 to 1.2 seconds if the enemy level is a multiplier. of 3 or above level 24, they will be stunned for an additional 0.6 seconds and take 150 bonus damage. I chuckle because this is Dota 1. This is Valve reaching way back when Doom had his level death skill, which was based on the level of the enemy. And you're always watching. You're always watching early game because you know you could always just one-shot heroes with this as soon as they turn level 6. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Okay. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's doing as much damage as the old level death did, but adding that extra stun duration and extra damage, I mean, that's cool. Let's see if that part of my brain still works. Whenever I was playing Doom, I was like, check their levels first before going in. So let's see if my brain will still do that. Dragon Knight. Breathfire mana cost reduced from 100, 110, 120, 130 down to 90, 10, 90, 100, 110, and 120. Okay, so they're lowering the mana cost of breath. Honestly, I never really thought it was too high. Like, I would always get a soul ring on them. And it's true. Actually, even with the soul ring, I would notice my mana kind of getting hampered. So I think that change makes sense. Dragon tail damage increased from 25 up to 100 to 50 up to 125. Elder dragon form splash radius increased from 300 to 350. Good, good. Level 15 talent increased from 350 health to 400. So general buffs actually quite across the board for Dragon Knight, and yeah, I think he did need a little kick in the pants in terms of making him a little stronger in the game. Like he would always have this power spike right at the beginning of the game where you can take a tower in 6 minutes. And then even start applying pressure to the mid, but if it's not effective after that, like Dragon Knight just seemed to kind of drop off quite heavily, and I imagine that's still the case. I don't think these changes they're making here are gonna make that too much, but I think what they did here was conservative in terms of buffing them, but I think he needs it. So maybe his Agnes Shard ability, Fireball. Grants Elder Dragon form the Fireball ability, ignites a 450 AoE area for 100 seconds. 10 seconds, sorry. Dealing 80 damage per second to enemies. Okay, so it's like a tiny little macro pyre. So keep in mind, he can only do this when he's in dragon form. And you're probably always going to be at least in the fire. Well, that's actually quite a big AoE. It's bigger than I was picturing. Wow. I thought it was just going to be a tiny little, like, circle around, like, almost a ion shell AoE, but no, that's quite sizable. So the cast range on it, 1400, huge. And it only has a 20-second cooldown, so you can actually have one of these flaming things down quite often. So that's a cool addition. I think Dragon Knight's always going to want to get this, because this seems like this is that buff that he's needing for him to actually be more useful in the game, particularly the late mid to late game. So, cool, and quite a good farming tool. I mean, you probably already have decent farming. Well, you're not going to use this for farming, right? You're not going to go dragon form and then, well, push towers with it. I mean, just throw this around a tower that you're wanting to take out, and team fight happens to break out there. Well, sucks for the enemy team. Okay, Drow Ranger. So base damage reduced by 2. Alright. Frost Arrow slow reduced from 16 to 64 down to 15 to 60. So kind of slight decreases across all levels. Marksmanship agility bonus rescaled from 28-36-40 to 25-35-45. Slightly less on the early end, slightly higher on the end there. Marksmanship damage bonus reduced from 70-80-90 to 50-70-90. So nerfing her ulti earlier game. Level 20 talent changed from 2.5 second gust silence duration to -4 second gust cooldown. Okay, I like that. Having a lower cooldown. She does have a cooldown talent as well, so getting that gust nice and down so you get a bit of crowd control for yourself. Because Lord knows many times when you play Drow, you just don't have enough. You just don't have enough kind of crowd control on your team, or certain supports aren't paying attention. Good to be able to have some way of defending yourself, pushing heroes away. Frost arrows, or Agnes Shard ability Frost arrows. Frost arrows apply a hypothermia stack. I like how they named that. They named normal punch on Dark Seer. You know, they put no thought into this, and then for Frost arrows, this particular stack is called the hyperthermia stack. Okay, reducing their regeneration by 10% per stack. Okay. Bit of anti-regen element to Drow now. Sucks for Huskar. Sucks for Alchemist. Last 7 seconds, if an enemy hero dies with hyperthermia stacks, they burst and deal 60 magic damage per stack. Ooh. Wow. Harsh. Get away from your poor teammate that's about to die. And so it does a bunch of damage. And like, how many stacks can you potentially get? And that, in this demo, that's 7. So 7 times 6 is like 400 damage to everyone around that poor hero that dies. And it slows for 25%, slow for 2 seconds to enemies within 650 radiance. A decent radiance, actually. Radius. Max stack 7. There we go. Cool. I mean, Drow with her regular Agnums made her good against illusion heroes. So, like, this is the build you go. Like, you don't need Maelstrom on her. Just get yourself an Agnums and an Agnes Shard, and you can take care of crowds quite easily of illusions. I mean, I'm guessing they thought of this, but killing an illusion with these stacks isn't going to cause a burst like that, so maybe it will. We'll see. Earth Spirit. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so Drow, just overall, I think Drow just got kind of nerfed stat-wise, but talent-wise, a bit of a buff, I would say. And then this added a little bit here. I think this is going to make things interesting. Quite useful for only 1400 gold. Earth Spirit. Earth Remnant duration reduced from 2 minutes down to 1 minute. Enchant Remnant can now also be cast on Remnants. Has a 5-second cooldown when they use this way. What? Enchant Remnant. What? So is Agnes. Right, so the one where you temporarily turn a hero into a stone remnant, you can do it to a regular remnant. Why would I want to do that? Remnant can now be cast on remnants. Okay, I'm gonna have to test this out because I feel like I should know this, but I don't. I've been starting to play more as Spirit. I rarely get Agnes on them, so I don't know exactly what this does. Let's see. Okay, so now I can cast this on an enemy. W. And then D. And then it explodes. He explodes out of it. Right. So I put one of these down. And I cast this on it. What does that do? Oh, okay. So you can make them into bombs, essentially. This is what that's about. So this cooldown is 20 seconds, it said, when you do it this way? No, 5 seconds. Okay, so you do this. No, you can't actually have multiples going at a time. But, I mean, some skill in actually knowing when this thing's going to detonate. Like, if I want to hit him with it, I need to hit it quite early. Oh, no. Nope. It's kind of like playing hockey. You have to be right up to it in order for it to do. I don't know, did that do a lot of damage? I mean, I guess that did a lot more damage than if I just did this. Yeah, okay. Beep. Oh, too soon. I don't know, like to be able to time this. Alright. I don't know, I think that's okay. It's like if you're in a team fight and you're just like, oh, I've got remnants to spare, because you know, as Earth Spirit, you always have remnants to spare. But in the middle of a team fight, you're just like, haha, I'm just gonna have that one. If you're near it, you're just gonna get exploded on. Just doesn't seem that good, to be honest. 300 damage. I think it's kind of... I think it'd be pretty tricky. I mean, this hero's tricky enough as he is. But, like, this just adds an extra element of, like, skill of trying to get that going. You can chain yourself into a remnant. Really? Why do I never get those? I actually get myself out of this before. Nope. So I'm just like stuck in it for as long as I break out. I don't know, it's interesting. It's got such a long cooldown at 45 seconds. Like, okay, so what if I want to TP? I can't TP while I'm in it. This is going to cancel my TP. I can't even, what? Okay, well, interesting. Let's get out of that. I don't know. I'm not too impressed with it, to be honest, with that particular Agnes. I mean, I know the Agnes does other things. Like, this is just an additional little feature on top of it. Fair enough, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be that useful. I hope somebody can prove me wrong, really. So Agnes Shard ability causes Earth Remnants to provide ground vision. Increase charge count by 4. Yes, that's good. Good, give him more. Give him more charges, please. And that makes his Agnes, I guess, a little more useful, because then you can try to blast these 300 damage bombs into battle as an AoE. That's interesting. So we got Earthshaker. Reduces fissure cooldowns, or Earthshaker no changes, but Agnes Shard ability. Reduces fissure cooldown by 2 seconds and allows you to walk on it. Huh. Whenever you cast a spell, an aftershock effect is replaced through the fissure path. Oh, cool. That's cool. Gives it like an extra stun around it. Huh. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Alright, Agnes ability on Elder Titan. Agnes Shard ability. Echo Stomp allows you to turn Echo Stomp on autocast. When cast while on autocast, you will take the place of Astral Spirit. Ah, I do it mid-channeling. See how tricky that is to manage. I feel like there might be a bit of a trick to that, to actually get that going pretty good. Builder. Oops. No. So, how do I do this? Autocast. Alt-tab. I need to be pressing Alt-T for this. He always my... Yeah. Used to be E, didn't it? No, E was this. Ugh, it's been so long since I played Elder Titan 2. So, can I do this while I'm channeling it? Yes. Yeah, so you gotta be like quick on your fingers in deciding. I mean, maybe you kind of know already. Hey, I'm just like, oh, I've sent this guy, put him through the whole team. Yeah, you gotta be pretty quick on that. If you're controlling your little guy, and then you press T, you gotta be quickly switch back to your main. And then press your Echo Stomp. So a bit of like tricky mind-bending skill to kind of take in there. Yeah. Almost like an extra spell I gotta cast after I'm channeling it. I have to do it within 2 seconds. I want to go in here. Yeah. It's cool, I like it. I like the teleport aspect of it. I mean, if you're running, can I use this as an escape? Getting chased. Shit, put this up on a thing. Oh, and then you're embarrassed when you fuck it up. You're getting chased and you're like, shit, I gotta get out of here. Ah. That's cool. I like that element of it. Cool little escape thing you can do. Hey, you're the last one out. You'll be the one who get out safely. I mean, you don't get stunned while it's happening. His Agnums causes you to become spell immune for 2 seconds per affected enemy hero when the spirit returns to you. Did they change that? They used to make it so it was based on... I mean, now you can, like, get a bit of BKB action going. Beep, beep, beep. Because I need to actually buy the item. Oh. Huh. Ah, so it's still going to do it when I come to it. So it's not like when I teleport to it. Yeah, I guess I'm taking the space of the spirit, so I'm then getting what that spirit does. Oh, that is actually really good. Because it means I can just throw myself into the middle of a battle. I'm like confidently hop in there, and now I'm BKB'd, and I can just start punching people while I'm BKB'd for 1,000 years. You're like, no, sir. Oh, yeah. Boom. Okay, cool. I like that. I think that's quite a strong Agnum shift. Being able to teleport yourself, but also the eggs change. I kind of like it. Okay, Ember Spirits. What I'm excited about. Another hero I'm playing quite more often lately. Let's see. Intelligence gain increased from 1.8 to 2.2. Good. He had a bit of a mana problem, so happy to see that. Activate Fire Remnant Scepter mana cost increased from 25 to 75. Activate Fire Remnant Scepter mana cost increased. Okay, so I thought it cost more to activate your Remnant. Does that mean when it's going out? No, that means when you're actually wanting to jump to it, right? Yeah. No. No, I feel like jumping to it costs a lot more mana than that. I think it's when you actually send it out. Agnes Shard ability. So fire remnants deal 45 damage per second in an AoE around them. Dying or killing an enemy hero leaves a fire remnant nearby. Oh. Kills within 400 range of you count. What? DPS from multiple fire remnants do not stack. I mean, cool. So there's a bit more damage buff on magic damage, Ember Spirit. So if he dies, I'm just watching this video here where PA dies, I assume eventually. And then it automatically sends a fire remnant to that spot. Once you get a kill. Dying or killing an enemy hero. So interesting, when you die, you automatically leave a fire remnant, so buyback. So this is a hero that can die and then buy back and come back right away. Which is really cool. Weaver, kind of like the Weaver alt. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I like it. I think it's quite a cool addition. Enchantress. Enchant cooldown rescaled from 20 to 28, 24, 2016. Sprink upgrade no longer grants 150 attack rage passively. Alright, Sprink now launches an impetus attack on the 3 furthest enemy units within your attack range plus 200. Sprink cooldown increased from 3 to 5. Okay, so, I mean, that needed something, right? Sprink was like a meme. Almost just like a meme thing to get because it was just hilarious. You can run backwards or like hop backwards over cliffs. So they actually gave it a cool little damage thing that comes out of it. So neat. The fact that you can, I mean, the fact that she can throw 3 impetuses every 5 seconds in battle, like, cool. Makes getting that Agnes actually quite considerable. Agnes Shard ability. Nature's Attendants adds 3 permanent Nature's Attendants that follow you around. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm not sure how much healing that's actually going to equate, but neat. Good, like adding sustain or healing for your team. Enigma. So demonic conversion attack point improved from 0.4 to 0.3. Demonic conversion duration from 35 to 40. Malefice Druid cooldown reduced from 18 to 15 down to 14. Good. Level 10 talent changed from 4 seconds Midnight Pulse duration to 0.35. Level 15 talent reduced from 12-second cooldown reduction down to 10. Boo. Level 15 talent changed from 0.35 second Malefice stun duration to 150 Midnight Pulse radius. Okay. I really like this buff on the Malefice. Makes Enigma slightly more useful. The fact that it's 14 at level 1 gives just more incentive to scale this earlier. I tend to get this quite late, so this might incentivize me to get Malefice by level 5, level 7. Demonic conversion attack points. I mean, the demonic conversions, they last for an extra 5 seconds. Neat. Not a big change. Let's see, Agnes Shard ability. Black Hole now does a non-interrupting pull towards its center in a 120 AoE. What? Oh, cool. Non-interrupting. Well, that's cool. So if anyone's like trying to run away from it. Like, that's actually really cool. I like that they added that. Neat, neat, neat. Yeah, 1400 to make that effect happen. You don't get to use black hole very often. Like maybe you're only having 3 or 4 black holes in a game, like solid team fight ones. So I don't know, spending 1400 on just a bit of a pull like that. This might be one that's a little less good. I mean, one consideration is that like the enemy team is going to have to be quicker on their feet in order to stop you. So like someone needs to be quite reasonably far away from the black hole in order to see that a black hole is coming and be able to react fast enough before you actually get pulled into it. So I think it might make it actually like easier to catch 4 or 5 man black holes with this, which I'll say. Again, the Agnes Shard, I like that it's cheap, 1400. But is it cheap enough? Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're going to make it cheaper. I would hate to see if they make it more expensive. Because I think some of them like this, like if you made an Agnes Shard 1500, to me that would be a lot and like an extra incentive not to get it just for this slight effect here. Yeah. Faceless Void. Base agility reduced by 4. Okay, good. Time lock bonus damage reduced from 20, 25, 30, 35 down to 10, 15, 20, 35. Wow, quite the significant nerf on that, especially early game. Good, because Faceless Void was just a wrecking machine. I'm getting distracted by this video. What is happening? He's jumping forward and then backwards. Faceless Void needed a debuff, a nerf for the early game, because he seems just so strong in lane. He can bully even like heroes like Lifestealer out of lane. I feel like you should have any advantage, but yeah. Level 15 talent reduced from 75 time walk cast range to 250. Okay, slightly less. So bit of nerfs on Faceless. Doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me at all. Agnes Shard ability, Time Walk. Time Walk remains castable for 115 seconds after land. 150. 1.5 seconds after landing. If used in this period, you will reverse your Time Walk back to your previous cast location. Increasing Time Walk cast range by 200. Okay. I mean, you can fake somebody out like that. You're like, haha, I'm gone. Someone blinks after you and you're like, just kidding, I'm going back. Or like a fake out. Now, the question is, are you getting... It will recast it. It says you'll reverse it, but does that necessarily mean that I'm then not going to take as much damage? Let's check this out. Is it essentially 2 time walks, so like I'm backtracking twice? That's a consideration. This is actually that useful. So I walk again. I walk again. Nope, it did not give me my health back. So keep that in mind. You're not getting 2 time walks. You are just faking. You don't get the time walk back. So why would I use this? I mean, you can fake somebody out really well, right? Happen to be against another Faceless Void. You're like, Chrono, just kidding. Alti, just kidding. I'm going in, plop illusions, and get out. I don't know. You know what I think it does? Hold on, let me see if I can do something. Let's see this. Hammer. Give me the hammer. Meteor hammer. Meteor hammer. Oh, it cancels it. I'm still getting the vision. Weird. Am I still getting the vision? Yes. Is that just a Meteor Hammer thing? You get the vision and then it stays? Okay. Didn't know that. Didn't know that about Meteor Hammer. Your vision lingers after you've cancelled. Hey, I want to know what's over here. Here we go. I don't know. I don't think that's how that's meant to be used, but yeah, see, this is like definitely one of the more underwhelming ones. Well, it's a fake, right? Thing is, what if he gets silenced as soon as that happens? I don't know. Why would I do that? Why would I want to do that? Me. Alright, Grimstroke. Base attack range increased from 575 to 600. Okay, good. Good. Giving him a little more presence in lane. If he's got a little more attack speed. I think that puts him up close to what Lena's is then, doesn't it? Inkswell max damage is reduced from 100, 200, 300, 400 down to 90, 180, 270, 360. Okay. Quite a bit of a drop. Well, bit of a drop. Inkswell max values now happen after 2.5 seconds of touching an enemy rather than 3 seconds. Okay, so you can actually have a better chance of getting maximum damage. Phantom's Embrace mana cost reduced from 110, 120, 130, 140 down to 80. A reduction of 30 at the first level. 10, 12, 14, or 140. Cool. I mean, I personally get that skill pretty often early game. So the fact that they're making it costless mana, great, I like it. I know a lot of people don't get it early, and I'm like, it's a silence. Not only is it a silence, but then the person has to spend the time to try to get this thing off of themselves, or take damage and refresh the cooldown that you can then cast it again. So, good spell, I think. Good spell to use early. Phantom's Embrace cooldown rescaled from 32, 28, 24, 20 to 36, 30, 24, 18. So slightly less. You can't cast it as often. Phantom's Embrace bounty from 3720 to 1010. Good. So I always felt that it was a bit like, I guess that maybe that was the reason why people don't get it early, because you can feed a decent amount of golden XP to somebody if they happen to be able to get it off of themselves quick. So good. I like that. Dark Portrait Illusion duration increased from 15 seconds to 25. Good. I like that. I mean, I like this ulti that he has. But yeah, I always felt like it was a bit underwhelming. So being able to have an illusion that lasts longer. Good. Good, good, good. Phantom's Embrace now refreshes the cooldown if the target it was cast on dies before it reaches them. Oh. Dies before it reaches them. That's cool. Level 10 challenge changed from 80 Inkswell damage down to minus 4 second Inkswell cooldown. Okay. I think that's better. The minus 4 second Inkswell cooldown. I think that tends to work better than the damage. Because it's a lot of it's not just about damage, it's about the slow, right? So being able to slow more often, I think I would make that trade any day. So I think these are like some really strong buffs on Grimstroke. Yeah. Agnes Shard's ability Ink Over grants Ink Over, covers a target enemy in ink for 6 seconds, slowing attack speed by 50, movement speed by 20%, and dealing a total of 240 damage over its duration. Huh. Wow. Cast range 700, cooldown 14. Wow. Grimstroke. This is probably one of the bigger buffs that I'm seeing on your hero is from on Grimstroke right now. Like that to me is a huge buff to this hero. All of these things, every one of these things. No single one of them is huge, except maybe I mean they're all quite big buffs, I would say. I don't look at any of them and be like, meh. I'm like, no, that's good. Good buff. These are all good buffs. Gyrocopter. Backswing animation reduced from 0.65 to 0.1. So he's taking a little longer to fire. Base damage range rescaled. Base damage range rescaled. His damage rescaling. So instead of 40 to 50, it's 42 to 48. Okay. I mean, it's all like roll of the dice, right? Of what value you actually get between those two. So I don't know. What is the base damage really affect? I think it makes it slightly more reliable. Slightly more of a reliable right click for getting last hits. Base agility increased by 7. Ooh. Base damage unchanged though. Okay. Rocket Barrage. So Rocket Barrage, so this is his Agnes Shard ability. Rocket Barrage now... Rocket Barrage. That skill now hits an extra target. Increase barrage duration by 1 second. So you're doubling it. Essentially doubling the skill, right? Cool. Cool. I mean, honestly, I was hoping for a little more buffs to Gyro. These seem a bit underwhelming. Like, so his base agility increase, even though his base damage is unchanged. So that means he just has a little more base armor. Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's been buffed significantly. The Agnes Shard, I mean, I think it's cool. It's an interesting, like I was thinking the other day, I did play Gyro quite recently. And I was thinking the other day that he did need, like his Rocket Barrage is something that used early laning stage. But that it seemed to kind of fall off later. Like once you get your right click, once you get your items up, the Rocket Barrage is like just something in the back of your mind. So I think what this Agnes Shard is doing is it's opening up for maybe a lower priority Gyrocopter, like a Gyro 3. And then adding this little extra element of mid game, because I mean, doubling his Rocket Barrage for only 1400 gold, I think makes the skill viable and useful into the mid, perhaps late game. So it's giving him sort of like a cheaper utility, I'm saying. That maybe he doesn't need to farm so well. I mean, that's the thing about Gyro, right? Is like if you don't get yourself the items you need, I mean, I guess it's the same for any carry, but you really feel it with Gyro. Like if you don't farm well at the start, if you get snuffed pretty early, it's really hard to bounce back with this hero. So being able to have this Rocket Barrage do a little extra damage in the mid game, only for 1400, is maybe kind of like a bounce back feature for him. Also, best game lines or best voice lines. Gyrocopter. Get off my lawn! I know that was a terrible impression. Okay, Huskar. Berserker's Blood max attack speed increased from 130, 190, 250, 310 up to 160, 210, 260, 310. So buffs in the early game. Life Break Scepter duration increased from 3.5 to 3. That's talking about its slow, I assume. Life Break Scepter now also increases cast range by 300. Okay. Level 20 talent changed. So they're taking away the Life Break cast range and putting it -3 second Life Break cooldown. Okay. Level 25 talent increased from 175 attack range to 200. Okay. Modest. I think these are just kind of modest buffs. The Huskar, I think you'll notice that quite a bit in the early game, his Berserker's Blood. It'll make him a little more of a lane dominator, which he already is in the early stages, but like you tend to have level 2 Berserker Blood. So only like a 20 max attack speed increase. It's something. Definitely something. So his Agnes Shard ability, Inner Fire, causes Inner Fire to reduce health regen by 50 and applies 35% move slow. Lowers cooldown also by 2 seconds. Okay, so if you're against a team that's super like regen heavy, against a Dazzle, against Necrophos, take away their ability to heal. Okay. And the slow is good. I think the fact that you can slow gives it that much more crowd control. Sometimes I do like to play him as like a sneak 3. So the fact that you can now have this slow and have a lower cooldown on this Inner Fire skill, I think he's good. Alright. Invoker. Forge Spirit now spawns 2 units when both Quas and Exhort have 4 points. Okay. So that's taking away his talent and then just making it automatic once you've got 4 points. When you have both of those skills in 4 points. Forge Spirit Armor reduction cap increased from 10 to 20. Okay, so they're making these a little more late game viable. Cataclysm cooldown increased from 90 to 100. Level 10 talent increased from 30% meter damage to 40. Good. Good. I feel like that needed a buff. Level 15 talent changed from 1 Forge Spirit to 40 DPS Ice Wall. And apparently Ice Wall is Vector? No, that's his... Sorry, spoilers. I just spoiled his Agnes. This is something I overheard. He can make his Ice Wall Vector. Aha! That's really good. The fact that you can cast it at that range, a 900 vector range, because a big limitation of this skill was the fact that you can only kind of cast it in front of you. The fact that you can now just plop one of these down, like that's a powerful spell. Like just the positioning of it is always kind of janky. So I think this is going to be a often get. For sure. And then adding DPS to the firewall. Neat. Level 20 talent reduced from 40 alacrity damage speed to 35. Level 20 talent increased from 8 seconds. Honestly, this one here particularly doesn't surprise me. I think that needed a bit of a nerf, so. Good. Oh, I like those changes. I like Invoker. Worst win rate I have with them, for sure. One of the most games hero I have the most games with, but just always fun to play. Even if your team is like, you suck, stop playing that hero. I love playing this hero. So it's going to be even more fun with this, for sure. Like that's crowd control to the max right there. And hey, if you happen to have a Refresher's Shard, you get like a cool V-shape going. A little Mighty Ducks thing going. Love it. Okay, IO. This will be interesting. I recently played IO mid. I enjoyed it. I am sold on the IO mid. That is mainly the only way I would play this hero now, so see what they've changed. No longer has instant turning before actions. What? No longer has instant turning before actions. Like he would turn instantly, right? Like he's an orb that just floats, right? I know he kind of has like this face. If you look really closely at him, you can see this sort of like lens. What is it? Eye contact lens that demotes his face. So maybe they're taking that away from him, or they're making it so his face actually is like slowly turning. I like that about him. You could feel it. You could feel it when you play this hero. I am an orb moving in any direction without actually having to turn in that direction. So I'm sad they're taking that away. Longer has instant turning before actions. I gotta see this. Because to me that just feels like such a little nitpicky change, but the fact that they would look at that nitpicky change and then take it off of him surprises me. Look, he's got a face. See it? There it is. Don't look too closely. Yeah, so he's got this little like face thing that Maya looks around. Yeah, he does feel different. Damn it. These creeps are gonna kill me. Ugh, oh my god. You can see it, right? You can feel that difference. I mean, I think I can. Maybe I'm just making it up. Oh no, but look, like he actually, like, you could actually see him turning now. I don't like that. I like that when it was more instant. What? You can detonate them? What the heck? What is going on? Okay, let's read on, because clearly I'm just spoiling these chat notes. What? Attack point increased from 0.15 to 0.3. Base damage increased from 39 to 40. Okay, so they're improving his damage early game. Thank you. Actually be worth right-clicking with this hero, maybe. 45 to 51. That's quite good, actually, too. That's a decent right-click damage. Tether slow increased from 8, 16, 24, 32 to 15, 25, 35, 45. Okay, so they're even, like, buffing this tether slow quite a bit. Tether movement bonus rescaled from 5, 8, 11, 14 to 6, 8, 10, 12. Little less on the upper end, a little more on the lower end. Right. Heal transfer reduced from 60, 90, 120, 50 down to 60, 80, 10, 10, 10. By 10 I mean 100, 120. Okay. Bit of less in the late game for his transfer. I guess they're saying that like when he's tethered to a hero and doing his healing bit, it's too broken, so they're trying to maybe nerf that down a little bit. Spirits now have the in and out sub abilities again. Thank you. I don't know why you took those away. Spirit damage increased from 20, 40, 60, 80 to 30, 50, 70, 90. Good. They needed a buff. Spirit collision damage increased from 10, 18, 26, 30 to 10, 20, 30, 40. That's for hitting creeps with it. So slightly more on the higher end, slightly. Overcharge attack speed reduced from 50, 80, 110, 140 down to 50, 70, 90, 110. Again, on the later game part of it. Overcharge now grants 10, 12, 14, 18 spell amplification. Ooh, okay. Neat. So it's actually like worth... So it's not just about right-click heroes that you want to beef up their damage with. Now you can swap this onto Zeus, and he's going to get an extra 16 spell amp when you do overcharge. That's pretty good. 16 spell amp, that's actually quite, that's actually pretty good. I think, what, the Kaya's only 12? Kaya... Very good. It's like one of those moments where, like, if I check it now, it's going to be one of those things I remember forever, so I want to check it. Yeah. Oh, so Kaya's 24, so this is only half of that. No, that's the lifesteal amp. Sorry, this is 8. No, 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 I'm joking. It's double. It's double what a Kaya is doing. You can just plop this. You're putting 2 Kayas onto a Zeus when you press overcharge. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Or it equals the same amount of having a Yasha Kaya. Neat. Neat, neat, neat. These have spell amp too now, don't they? Yeah, this only has 8% Bloodstone. Does the Octarine Core? No. No. Okay. Okay, moving on. Spirit damage increase, overcharge, relocate, cooldown increased. From 90, 75, 60 to 100, 90, and 80. So making this a little less, a bit of a nerf on his relocate in terms of time. Ending tether now stuns enemies touching it. Aha! For 1.75 seconds, dealing 150 damage. Cool. That's cool. They've been doing a few things with tether. And I do miss the first rendition where you get a stun out of it. So this is like, it's neat, but you have to sacrifice your tether for it, so it's not like a full trade-off. Yeah, cool. I like that. Now, can someone explain to me why my IO circles were exploding on command? Oh wait, I know why. And it has nothing to do with a hero change. I just had free spells on. And I think every time you would recast the spell, it would automatically detonate. Am I right? Yeah, so yeah, I can't really... So they've got this again. Come in, come out, come in. See, like, my poor brain. I use legacy keys. So trying to remember all the keys for all the heroes. At some point, my brain knew this. But I finally started playing enough IO that, like, it's not... That's just something I'm gonna have to get used to again. I kind of liked W, where it would just be, like, shifting, but this is cool. You can actually, like, choose how far it is. It's giving him that sort of nuance. But I was kind of sad when they took away. I kind of understood why they took it away. Let's see this. Get our shard. So now I tether to this guy. And I'm like, yo, you can stun a whole bunch of people that... Cool. Cool. Oh no, I did it again. I pressed the end key. Oh, if only we were at the end. My god. We are nowhere near at the end, are we? But there's so much to go through. So much to see. So much to learn. What are we at? 1 hour, 20 minutes. Okay, let's chug, chug, chug. Chug or lug a few more. Let's get ourselves to at least... Let's get ourselves at least to the M's. I don't know what I'm actually committing to here, but... Yeah. Somebody was telling me that Purge's last chat up to, or last review of patch notes was 9 hours. I can't imagine how long it's going to take for this one. Like, I'm probably going to get... What am I at? This is my... What is it? 3 hours? An hour and a half. I'm probably at the 6-hour mark. Approaching the 6-hour mark, so... Eesh. Eesh. Jakiro. Level 25 talent increased from 1 second ice path cooldown to 1.5 seconds. Okay. Cool. Liquid Frost is a new ability with his Agnes Shard. Grants Liquid Frost auto-cast attack ability. Causes your ice head to release a Frost Blast. Frost-based attack, slowing enemies by 30% and dealing 20 times 2.5 max health as damage per second for 8 seconds. So this is like Winter Wyvern's Flying Shot. Is it not? Except it's AoE. Because it looks like it does an AoE around it, sort of similar to the fire. I assume they don't stack, but what happens if you cast both fire and ice? Are they going to be affected by both? Honestly, I'll find out when I find out. And so will you. Juggernaut. Blade Fury radius increased from 250 to 260, ever so slightly. Omni Slash is no longer restricted from initially being cast on Ancients. What? Omni Slash is no longer restricted from initially being cast on Ancients. You can cast it on Ancients. Okay. Swift Slash is no longer restricted also on Ancients. I mean, I understand it. I understand what that change is. I understand why you would do it, why you would use it. Cool. Little tiny bit of nuance. Neat. I'll keep that in the back of my mind. I mean, the fact that you can use Swift Slash to farm ancient camps is actually pretty cool. Being able to do Omni Slash when your enemies are kind of crowding around you and you're like, shit, I would like to buy myself an extra 10 seconds of invulnerability or potentially kill some of their teammates. But I need to jump on this ancient creep because nobody else is a viable target. Okay. Interesting. Here's how it really plays out. You have a life stealer on your team. You're gonna cast... I know this is not gonna work. You cast your Omni Slash on the Ancient, then Lifestealer takes over the Ancient, and then obviously your Juggernaut stops his ulti, but pretend it doesn't, and he's still ulting, and then you run your big Ancient into the battle, and then Omni Slash jumps onto the enemy team. I know, it's a pipe dream, but there you go. That's the utility of that. Level 15 talent changed from 100 Blade Fury movement speed, to minus 20-second healing world cooldown. Oh, and then they're transferring the Blade Fury movement speed? No. Level 25 talent increased from 140 Blade Fury DPS to 160, but they took away the movement speed. I mean, you always have a lot of movement speed with Jugger, but I mean, this did make him a bit broken. I mean, I've been hating playing against Jugger for a while now. And honestly, I think this talent is a big part of it because that extra movement speed that he's been getting when he spins, for him to be able to escape, get away, hide in trees for a little bit. I mean, we'll see how annoying this becomes. Because his healing ward can shift fights quite dramatically, even if there's quite a small lull in the team fight, where Juggernaut plops this down and heals half of his team up to full health. Like, that's pretty significant. So I don't think I mean, he's losing a lot. Jugger is losing a lot from this, but he could potentially be gaining a lot as well. So it's Agnes Shard. Increase your movement speed. Ah, there it is. And attacks a random nearby enemy once per second. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes, you're going to be getting this because, like I said, this is very useful. Getting a random attack once a second while you're spinning, very cool. Because, and like that's quite often, 1 per second. I mean, not for Jugger, granted, but you'll notice that. You'll notice that extra damage when you're doing the Blade Fury. So combining that with his level 20 talent, yeah, he's still gonna be hurting people. quite a bit when he's got that. Keeper of the Light. He's got quite a bit of changes. So, Illuminate mana cost reduced. 150, 160, 170, 180 to 100, 125, 150, 175. Hate that. I mean, I don't like Keepers of the Light who level Illuminate for the laning stage. In the safe lane, let me clarify that. In the safe lane, when he's off lane, yes, he can push lanes very well. He can force the creeps, your creeps, onto the enemy carry that might not necessarily be able to handle him that well. So, okay. But just keep in mind, Keepers of the Light, keep in mind who your core is, who needs to last it. Keep in mind your creep equilibrium, right? And understand that Illuminate causes a lot of issues with that. That's all I'll say. Anyway, we should read on because he might be completely different, judging by all these patch notes. Chakra magic can no longer be cast on enemies. Oh, I loved it when you brought it back, even though I would forget to use it. Remove blinding light as a basic ability. Okay, so he's getting quite the rework. New ability. Added Solar Blind as a new basic ability. Lowers the target's magic resistance by 15, 20, 25, 30, scaling, and causes the target to become increasingly slow the more the target moves. Each 100 units moved reduces the target's movement speed by 4, 5.5, 7, 8.5, scaling up. Lasts 7 seconds. Okay. Cast range 700, 750, 800, 850. Mana cost only 60, 80, 100, 120. Cooldown 22, 20, 18, 16. Okay, so this is like his Blinding Light, but instead of causing people not to be able to hit, they are getting their magic resistance reduced quite significantly. And then being slowed as they move. You know what? I'm going to try this out. Not right now. I'm going to finish reading all the patch notes, and I'm going to try this out because I want to see what that looks like. Spirit form is now an ultimate ability. So they're reverting him back to the old Will-O-Wisp. I bet. Let's see. Spirit form is now an ultimate ability. Transform your hero into a spirit form, granting you 20, 25, 35 movement speed. Love it. Any more movement speed you put on this hero makes me happy. 125, 250, 375 cast range. Huh? Oh, you just get buffed. You just get buffed cast range quite significantly when you're in your spirit form. Okay. Grants blinding light, what we know and love, I assume. 18 CD cast range, 40% miss. Knockback distance. Hold on, does Solar Blind actually knock back? It might not. We'll see. Does 100 damage. Okay, so you're getting your blinding light again when you have your spirit form. And you get your recall as well. Also cause Illuminate, do not require channeling. Okay, so they take it off the scepter. They give him back these skills that you used to get with it. Okay. Bit of a reverting back to what it once was. Scepter rework. Now gains Will-O-Wisp. However, instead of a stun on flicker, it applies a movement manipulation that pulls units inward at a rate of 60 units per second, but does not prevent attacking or casting. What? What is the point of that? Cooldown 60. Hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. You're telling me that all this Will-O-Wisp is now going to do is cause them to get sucked in, but they can still cast and attack the orb. Tell me that the orb can't be destroyed. Certainly that is the case. Only a 60-second cooldown on it, so pretty frequent. Okay, we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look. I imagine there's more with this Agnes Shard, so let's just slowly absorb these patch changes right here. Level 10 talent increased from 2.5 blinding light cooldown to an extra 30% blinding light miss. Great. Like it. Level 15 talent changed from 2 Will-O-Wisp flickers to minus 6 seconds blinding light cooldown. Level 20 talent changed from 150 Will-O-Wisp AoE to 15 seconds spirit form duration. Alright. Level 25 talent changed from 3 Will-O-Wisp health counts. Damn it, see, they still have a health count. No, they don't. Oh, they're taking this out. To 1.2 seconds blinding light stun. Oh, he's can stun with blinding light. Full 25 talent. Okay. Or changing the illuminate damage 160 illuminate heal to just 160 illuminate damage because they're taking away his illuminate dam healing, except if you buy an Agnes Shard, right? Yes. Agnes Shard will cause his illuminate to heal units for 40% of his damage during daytime. Okay. Let's take a look at this. I think I understand this for the most part. I think his ulti is getting significantly nerfed. To the point where... I mean, so sorry, it's his Agnes. His ulti is no longer his ulti. His ulti is his Agnes. His ulti is now his old ulti, turning himself into a big, shining horseman. Keep. I love this arrow. I did. They didn't touch his move speed, right? That's the main part. Okay, so Solar Blind, level to max. So this is going to cause people... My first question. Does it push people back? Oh my god, N? Are you kidding me? You're going to give me N for this skill? I hate this. I hate this. Why are you punishing me? What did I do? Tell me that it's not any of these buttons. Okay, good. Okay, so that's a new hotkey I've never had to use before. N. And you just cast it once on somebody. They slow. I mean, the effect is cool. I mean, that just looks cool. It's like a stop them in their pants. Trance. Quite low cooldown. The magic resistance, right? So, like, I get it. You're gonna have one of these down. Cross your keyboard to press N. And they're like, no! No! Don't hit me with that blinding light. And they take a lot more damage from your Illuminate. Fair dues. Fair dues. Okay. Chakra. Okay, now it just restores and does what it used to do. Cool. Okay. Shining Horseman. Did not give him more light. Disappointing. Alright, so now this can go there. We can still cast this. But now we've got our Blinding Light, which is now, it's no longer B, it's C. Nope, never mind. It is still B. Which works the same as it used to. Well, it does a stun if you have your talent, right? Cool. And then I can teleport my bros. Right? Teleport somebody. This can still be cancelled, I assume. Yep, your player hero takes base damage during this time. The ability is interrupted. So you can't actually... The ways you can help someone escape with it is pretty niche. You can filter somebody to your side of the map if you suddenly need them to push somewhere. Okay. Long ass time. You can. That's like a team fight. You're like a Lycan essentially for this duration. 55 duration on that. So Okay. Okay, okay. His Agnes. So hold on. His Shard does what for us again? Causes Illuminate to do his heal. Yeah, only during the day. Cool. Worth it. Very worth it. If you need a healing on your team. That can be quite big. So his Agnes now. So once again, we've got the big blinding light. But you're telling me that these guys are... Oh no, he's still slowed. Okay, so they can still attack. Like, it's more... I don't know. I think it sucks. I'm gonna be honest, I think it kind of sucks. They're like, ow, okay, let's just walk out. Oh, okay, let's not. Let's attack it. Oh wait, but we can endlessly attack it. Yeah, I mean, I admit, it's quite a powerful ulti when it would stun. Um, this kind of nerfs it. Gives him back some of his other skills a little bit. I mean, they've gave him a skill, this new slowing skill. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of these changes on Coddle. We'll see. I'll play him a bit. So far, I'm not a huge fan. Not a huge fan of these. Mr. Kunkka. Alright, so intelligence gain increased from 1.5 to 1.8. Boost ship rum movement speed increased from 10% to 12%. Base health regen increased from 0 to 0.25. Level 10 talent changed from 6 armor to 150 cast range. Level 20 talent increased from 100, 18 strength to 20. Level 25 talent increased from 110 Tidebringer cleave to 140. Ever so slight buffs to Mr. Kunkka. Absolute pain in the ass hero to play against in the mid lane. You want an easy mid. You just want like a hero with training wheels to go mid. Pick Kunkka. He's comfortable. He's nice and comfortable mid. Tidal wave. So his Agnes Shard grants tidal waves. Releases a wave towards the target direction that deals 225 damage and drags, not interrupting enemies along at first 600 range over 1.25 seconds. The wave spawns 160 units behind you and travels for a distance of 114. Has X speed, cooldown 16 seconds. Okay, so he's got himself a little wave. Ah! Actually like that. That's funny. Boop. I mean, so you can assure you got yourself a Tidebringer coming. You send your ship and then you send this skin and like he better run. I mean, where's he gonna run? He's running towards you, he's screwed. So cool. I like it. It's neat. Gives him a little more utility, a little more interesting crowd control. Hard to describe Kunkka and describe his crowd control. It's like, it's interesting. Couple this with Tide's Ags. Get one of these waves and then one of his waves going right after. You're on the beach, bro. You're on the beach, bro. Cool. Alright, Legion Commander. Level 15 talent changed from -6 seconds overwhelming odds cooldown to -9 seconds, nerfing it. Level 15 talent reduced from 25 attack speed down to 20. You know, modest nerfs to him. Okay, her, lady, my liege. Her Agnes, while dueling, her Agnes Shard, while dueling, every 1.25 seconds an overwhelming odds is centered on a random enemy unit within 900 radius. Does not center on the same target twice. Prioritizes heroes. Okay, so just random arrows are flying in as you're dueling. Okay. As soon as it happens, which is interesting. I mean, assume it can proc on the hero that you are dueling. And does not center on the same target twice. They'll never hit the same target twice, but if heroes happen to be near each other enough, they could get hit by two of them. It's quite strong, actually. Like, put that in the middle of a team fight that happens to be, like, really close quarters or grouped up. Like, you're feeling good about your duel. Because your duel isn't just disabling one of them, hopefully getting you a kill, but it's also doing, like, quite a bit of significant damage to everyone around you. So, huge. Actually, quite a huge Agnes Shard there. She's quite tight for items in terms of, like, she needs gold. Any gold she gets, she'll make use of, so. If team fighting's a big thing. That's the nice part about Legion Commanders. Like, she was very much a pick-off hero. Maybe this makes her a little better for team fighting. Leshrac. Four-legged man. So, Scepter Rework grants the new ability Nihilism. Grants you a temporary aura that causes you and all nearby enemies in a 450 AoE to turn ethereal. Preventing them from attacking, causing them to take 30% more magic damage and being slowed for 4 seconds. Increases your speed rather than reducing it. Cooldown is only 25 seconds and it costs 75 mana. Honestly, I didn't like the last... oops, spoilers. Double? Triple? Ow. Agnes Shard causes her splitter to repeat in the same location 2 additional times with a 5-second delay between each one. Time is a radius increased by 75, so it gets bigger too. Split Earth Echo location is visible to both teams, so they can see it coming. Whoa. Wow. I mean, cool. 2 very cool Agnum changes on Leshrac. Good buff. He needed a buff. He was kind of tricky to get wins with, I would say. In the current meta. Gives him a little more utility. Like, even just Nihilism itself seems like it's quite strong. Being able to cause... So if you happen to catch all of them and they're all Ghost Sceptered, you know, if they're a team full of right-clickers, like, you're just switch the team fight quite significantly with Nihilism, so... I like it. I like the changes. I think they're really good changes for Leshrac. Big fan of those. Lich. Level 10 talent increased from 60 Frost Nova AoE damage to 90. Okay. Buff in that a little bit. Quite a bit, actually. 60 to 90. Agnes Shard ability. Ice. Grants Ice Spire. Creates an icicle at the target spot for 15 seconds, slowing enemies by 20% within 500 range. Chain Frost can bounce to the icicle if there are no other enemies in range. Cool. And also cast Frost Shield on it. Has 300 health. Cool. It gives him like an equivalent to like Tombstone, to the Nether Ward. Yeah, you know, those things that like get plopped on the battlefield, you're like, I gotta kill this, or it's gonna make my life miserable. Quite the big AoE on it too, right? That's like a decent size. You're covering like a big chunk of a battle right there. And the fact that the Chain Frost bounces off of it makes this Chain Frost. Like, Chain Frost is an amazing skill, but sometimes, like, if just circumstances isn't right, it's just a completely useless skill. This will just, like, mitigate that significantly. Very good. Very good. Agnes Shard. You gotta be hard pressed not to get this. Life Stealer. So, base attack speed reduced from 130 to 120. Feast increased from 1.5 to 2.5, 3% to 1.6, 2.2, 2.8, and 4. No, 3.4. So, slight increase in his feast. Feast no longer grants attack speed. New ability. Replace open wounds with Ghoul Frenzy. Passively causes Lifestealer's attacks to slow enemy movement speed by 6, 12, 18, 24 for 1.5 seconds. Additionally grants you 20, 30, 40, 50 attack speed. Yeah. So instead of open wounds, I now passively slow enemies on hit, and I just get attack speed from that skill. Feast now just gives me the health. This gives me a slow. This will be interesting, actually. Like for early game. I think this gives him more potential for offlane Lifestealer. Because he'll be nasty in lane with that. He could be really nasty in lane with that slow. Throw an Orb of Venom on it. Stack up with a Viper in lane. Oof. Hate to be on the other side of that. Rage mana cost increased from 75 to 7,500, 125, 150. That's actually quite significant. Infest mana cost increased from 50 to 100, 150, and 20. Wow. Level 20 talent changed from 4-second open wounds cooldown to plus 8% Ghoul Frenzy slow. Oof. So he's just gonna latch on to people. Like, Lifestealer always had this issue of potentially being kited away from. I mean, open wounds was, I mean, it's obviously the slow he can still dispel as well. But if you hit him again, then the slow is right back on him, so... but now he doesn't get as much lifesteal. Hold on, I haven't read all of it, getting ahead of myself. So his Scepter rework allows infesting enemy heroes for 4 seconds, attacking inside them every 1.25 seconds. Oh my god. Enemy heroes gain no bonuses from infest, doubles self-regenerate, increases cast range, and reduces its cooldown to 25. Oh my god, people are gonna hate that. I mean, so he gets, what, 3 attacks? He's gonna get 3 attacks when inside. Which is significant. Stack up like you get like enough damage to 3-hit a Crystal Maiden. You can just like delete someone with your ulti, essentially. Enemy heroes gain no bonuses from infest, double and self-regenerate. And the cooldown's quite low too. Like reducing the cooldown to 25 seconds for infest. That's cool. Okay. Makes it more viable. I always felt the cooldown on it was a bit too long. So being able to shorten that, making him more of an escape hero. You know, there's heroes that can escape by flying away. There's heroes that can escape by slipping into the trees or going invisible. Lifestealer slips away by slipping inside things. You know? Make him an evasion or a elusive hero. Agnes Shard ability. Provides attackers open wounds. This new ability provides attackers with 50% life. Go for all damage dealt to the target. Has huge cast range. Back slow. I don't get that slow part of it. I assume it's just the old wounds. I don't know. lasting a really long time. I'm gonna check it out. Check it out just to be sure of what this looks like. Life Stealer. I like Life Stealer. I always have historically liked Life Stealer. It's a very strong, comfortable hero to play. Okay, so get a shard. Now I've got wounds. Oh yeah, what are all my hotkeys gonna be? So these are just passive, yeah? 2 passives. Okay, okay. And open wounds the same? Yeah. Gets the slow. Lasts a good long time, my god. And he slowly gets his movement speed back. Duration 8 seconds. Like, that's a significant slow. I think that's like its greatest utility right there. The fact that it's providing that kind of a slow. Okay, let's see this. Nims. Ow! 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 Finish him. Seriously, give him one of these. And then one of these. So can I actually crit when I'm in it? Like, are my attacks actually gonna... Oh my god. I'm just gonna drop this. Don't take it, anyone. I just want to see, like, if I can get some decent crits off of this. If crit would be a viable item for this. No. No. It looks like I critted after I came out. Right? I think I'm not gonna get a crit off of this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I got a crit. I got a crit. Yep. Okay. Cool. I wonder if evasion and stuff affects it too. Like if you're inside of an evasive hero. I mean, give it to PA to be able to evade a target that's attacking her from within inside her. Right? Seriously, I want to see this. Select enemy hero. Phantom Assassin. Where are you? You evasive lady. Level to max. Level enemy heroes to max. You are more evasive. Okay, let's see this. Are you gonna evade this? Miss. Miss. Yes. Yes. Oh my god. Evasion still affects it when you're inside them. You can be inside PA and the cow is actually still evading you. Too funny. Alright, Lena. Base damage reduced from 49 to 61. I'm losing my ability to speak. So base damage reduction, mostly on the maximum, from 61 to 57. Base armor reduced. Okay. I just played, that was the other hero that I played since this patch came out, and I felt comfy on her. I didn't notice that difference in attack too much. Mind you, I was playing position 4 in the off lane, so... Anyway, Fiery Soul attack speed increased. 40, 55, 70, 85, 40, 60, 80, 100. Light Strike Away cooldown increased from 7 to 10, 9, 8, and 7. I noticed that, actually, to be fair, in lane. There was a few times where I was chasing down somebody. I was like, I feel like this should be up already. Laguna Blade mana cost reduced from 280, 420, 680 down to 250, 400, 555. Okay. Good. Still a few times I didn't have enough mana for that skill, so that's the crux of this hero. Mana. But I did buy the new simple item, the dagger. Put it on 2 heroes actually, and it felt very good. That sort of like low tier item that just gives you a little bit of health, a decent amount of mana regen, and just a little bit of attack damage. I like it. It felt nice to get it on her. It really did. So what do we got here? Level talent. So slightly increase into her damage for her Light Strike array. Such a weird name for a skill. Light Strike away. Remember when Lena was Lena before there was like copyright issues with her? In the sense of like, she's based off an anime. I actually don't know the full story, so maybe I shouldn't talk about too much about it, but I feel like they changed the name of her skills when she hit Dota 2. They just seem strange to me now. Light Strike area array damage. Like, I don't think that's what the skill was called in Dota 1, but maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember. Level 15 talent increased from 300 health to 350. Level 20 talent increased from Fiery Soul stacks, so a bit of a buff on that. And I know this Agnes Shard because I got it. Increases the cast range of Laguna Blade and makes it so it fully does its... It's just like this lightning bolt that you put in front of you, and it will hit everyone in its full range. If there's someone behind them. And I did manage to hit a couple times on 2 targets. I did manage to hit more than 2 targets. It's good, but like it's one of those ones that's like it's tricky to line up. Because like there is quite a bit of a cast point on it, so like heroes moving around back and forth. It's like, yeah, it's you can time it well, and you can get kind of maybe lined up 3 of them. If you line up 4 of them, that's pretty impressive. If you line up the whole team with 1 of these, I think that's very rare, but I can't wait to see that rampage. Anyway, Lion. Agility increased from 15 to 18. Earth Spike cast range increased from 500 to 575. Hex unit movement speed reduced from 140 to 120. Mana drain. Multiple target now searches for units within your cast range 300 rather than in a 400 radius around the target. Prioritizes heroes. Okay, so they fixed that. Sounds like they fixed that a little bit. Fixed Finger Death Scepter reduced mana cost by level 25 at level 3. Huh? Fixed Finger of Death Scepter reducing mana cost by 25 at level 3. Okay. Level 15 talent reduced from 150 cast range to only 125. Okay. Mana Drain from his Agnes Shard. Mana Drain grants True Sight over the enemy and reduces their attack speed by 90. Wow. Good Ricky counter. Like anybody who goes invis. Oh, you poor soul. I mean, it does slow them. I was gonna say if it slowed them, but it already does slow them, so making their attack speed reduced. That's cool. Like, it always feels weird in the late game playing as Lion, and you're like, I got this mana drain skill, and yeah, I'd use it to drain mana, but sometimes I find myself I used all my skills, and I don't really need mana right now, so I guess I'm gonna mana drain this guy right here. Now you can use this as like reducing a carry's attack speed by 90. Throw that on Troll Warlord when he's ulting. He's a sad little troll. Cool. Cool Agnes Shard ability. I like the True Sight too. It's a nice touch. A little bit of extra utility, make it worth it. Lone Druid. Level 20 talent increased from 32 True Sight form cooldown to minus 40 seconds. Okay. Level 25 changed from 100 true form health to 1,000 true form health to 1,000 true form and spirit bearer health. Okay. Agnes Shard ability. Savage Roar now empowers allied units in a 800 AoE with 20% movement speed and 60% attack speed for 4 seconds. Whoa! So I like playing this hero as a 3. I know people probably frown upon that, but this Agnes Shard gives you that incentive. And like having that extra movement speed while they're running away is nice, because sometimes you'll use this as crowd control, but you still want to whack on the person you scared. Being able to like keep up with them, to not miss a last or miss a right click on them. I like it. I like that touch. It's gonna be I don't know. I think for the first bit, I'm just gonna get Agnes Shard on every hero every time, because so many of them seem so good. One or two of them maybe are kind of like meh, you know, like Clockwork's little rocket ship. Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah. Anyway, Luna. Base agility increased by 6. Right? Lunar Blessing damage bonus changed from 10, 18, 26, 34 to a flat 5. Oh, they're reverting this. Now you just get a flat bonus damage again of 5, 15, 25 to 35. I wonder why they chose to do that. I mean, I don't think it's like a significant or huge. I mean, 34 bonus damage, obviously, when you're a 400 damage dealing hero is significantly more than 35, but yeah, I mean, it's a nerf. It's a pretty hard nerf to that skill, I think. Yeah, yeah, it's just a nerf, a late game nerf to that skill for sure. Lunar Blessing, Night Vision increased from 200, 400, 600, 800, 250, 500, 750 to 1,000. Good. Okay. So that gives it to everybody, though, right? So everyone on your team now has that. I mean, that was before. Obviously, this isn't adding it, but you have Luna on your team, and everyone has significantly more nighttime vision. Moonglaive damage reduction reduced. 52, 60, 46, 40, 34 down to 50, 44, 38, and 32%. A slight buff to her glaives damage. Agnes Shard ability. Lucent Beam allows Lucent Beam to be ground targeted. Increases stun duration from 8.8 to 1.1 and grants you 30% bonus movement speed for 8 seconds. Ground target search radius. That's it's essentially like a Zeus's lightning bolt, but you get a nice hefty stun off of it. 1 second stun, and then you get some little bit of bonus movement speed. I mean, Lucent Beam is a low cooldown skill, so I mean that's quite strong. I think that's quite strong. Again, am I gonna buy it? Hey, some games yes, some games I don't know. Lycan. I played Lycan in the new patch. Felt good. Felt very good. I really like the Agnes Shard ability. I was sad when they changed his Agnes yet again and took away the wolves in your lanes, but now you get them back. And this time you only get one wolf in a lane, but like you notice that. Like you think it's such a small little bit. But having this little wolf doing 50 damage to creeps in the lane, giving you last hits, giving you creep gold, like it's nice. It feels good. It pushes lanes out nicely to a point where like it kind of like undercuts and cripples the enemy team in such a way that they don't really notice. And I think many people don't notice. How cooldown reduction from 24, 22, 20, 18 down to 18. All mana cost reduced from 50 to 35, 40, 45, 50. So that's good. I didn't know that when I played this hero. And having Howl kind of like nice and early if you're laned with someone you can really be aggressive with. Getting a level 1 Howl I think is worth. Not level 1, sorry, not first skill Howl, but I mean like in the laning stages. Feral Pulse no longer has a radius. Affects your units anywhere. Cool. Honestly, I didn't really notice the radius too much. I'd always just have my dudes running with me. I do like to separate from my pack. So like being Lycan, running to like one half of the fight, and then sending your guys to another half of the fight, just for the sheer disruption of there being multiple points to have to like crowd control. Because it really undercuts. Lycan is really good at undercutting crowd control on the enemy team. Because they have to commit a lot in order to kind of keep Lycan down, so works well that way. He himself doesn't have crowd control, so you're suffering that, but you're making the enemy team's crowd control suffer. So level 10 talent changed from 4 armor to 8 feral HP regen. I got that, and it's good. I like the regen. Level 15 talent changed from 10 HP feral regen to 75 shape shift speed. Level 20 talent increased from 15% feral impulse damage to 25. I don't think those are significant, but they're neat. Did I notice the armor debuff? I do like getting, like, it's nice to be a little bit tanky. Because sometimes as Lycan, you just run into a bad situation. To be able to survive a bit of an onslaught from the enemy and to be able to run out is nice. So armor feels nice on him. But, yeah. And so is Agnes Shard. As I mentioned, you get a wolf randomly spawned in a lane. And that wolf is just gonna be a wolf. He's just gonna chunk down. Get some last hits for you. Push the lane out. Trust me, it's more useful than what your first impression might be. When it was 2 wolves, I mean, you would really notice that. But I mean, I like this. I like that they incorporated it, nerfed it a bit, made it cheaper. I like it. Okay, what is that? Are we on M's now? We're on M's. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it here because I need a break. You need a break. This patch needs a break. I mean, I can't just be reading about the patch. I also need to be playing it as well. So, thanks for watching through part 3. Judging by how far we're getting, there's probably going to be... I mean, maybe I'll just try and blast it off in one, or maybe I'll go a little faster. I know I'm taking a bit of my time with some of this, but hoping to get it done in one more session, maybe 2. Yeah, hopefully catch you there, catch you for the ride, and, well, take it easy. I'll see ya.